Hi guys, my name's Chris Collins and I run a food blog called Don't Go Baking My Heart. I guess in a nutshell it's all about comfort food. I love big hearty meals and it's just about making home cooking fun. And talking about comfort food, I'm going to be making you an easy cheesy cottage pie today, which is a family favourite. It's so good for batch cooking, it's amazing for meal prep. You know, people prep salads and chicken, but I like to prep cottage pie, so just chuck it in the freezer if you've got any left and you're all good to go. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time and we're going to get started now. We're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, probably about a teaspoon's worth is all you need. And then we're going to go in with some beef mince. You want some beef mince that's quite low in fat. So this is around 5%, but anything below 15% will be absolutely fine. And I've got this on about a high medium, because you want to get a nice caramelization on the beef. So just like as you cook a steak or if you cook chicken, you want to get a nice browning. So the key is to cook it almost until you think it's burnt, and then it's pretty much done. And it's really important that you don't season the mince at the very beginning, because if you put in salt, it's going to draw out the moisture in the mince and that's going to prevent it from caramelizing. So if you see here on the bottom of the pan, we've got it sticking a little bit. That means all the moisture is soaked up and that means that the mince is starting to caramelize. So at this point, I'm just going to pop in some salt and some pepper. We're going to take out the mince, pop it in a pot, and then we're going to put in the veg. So as you can see here, we've got a lot of caramelization stuck on the pan, but like I said, don't panic. That is all flavor and that's all going to come off. So I'm going to top this up with a little bit more olive oil and I'm going to pop in 3 veg. So the first one is mushrooms. I'm going to use 100 grams of that. And this is about a medium onion, which is again about 100 grams. And last but not least is carrot. Now you can interchange some of the veg. I know celery is quite a popular option, but for me, I just kind of go by what's left in the fridge, and I've often got mushrooms over celery. So as you can see here, the veg has released a little bit of moisture and I've just got all that lovely caramelization off the bottom of the pan there. So the veg is nice and soft now. As you can see, it's just starting to brown. It's a tiny bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. So now that the carrots, onions and mushrooms are pretty much sauteed, I'm going to add in some garlic, just fry that off to 1 to 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to grab some tomato puree. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to fry it off a little bit. So what you do by frying it is that you kind of make it a little bit sweet and you add so much more flavor to it. So my tip for tomato puree, if you can, is to fry it off a little bit. So as you can see, it's just started to catch on the pan. So we're going to deglaze that with some red wine. And we're going to simmer that for just a few minutes, just to take out the bite of the alcohol. The wine's reduced nicely and it's caught every last bit of flavor we've got on that pan. So what I'm smelling now is heaven, really. And we're going to go back in with the mince that we fried off earlier. Give that a little bit stir so that can soak up all that gorgeous wine. So next up we're going to go in with some beef stock and some Worcestershire sauce. I actually put in quite a lot, about 4 tablespoons. I know that sounds quite excessive, but it just adds so much gorgeous flavour to the dish. Give that a little bit of a stir. And we're going to go in with some herbs. So firstly we're going to chuck in a bay leaf and some dried thyme, some dried rosemary. You can go up to about a teaspoon of each. Any more than that, I'd probably rein it a little bit because it's going to overpower everything. And next up is my secret ingredient, which is gravy granules. So the traditional way to make cottage pie, because you want quite a thick texture to the juices in the beef, they use flour, but what gravy granules is going to do is thicken it exactly as flour would do, but it's going to add in more flavour as well. So we're actually going to cook it uncovered for about 30 to 45 minutes until most of that juice is all soaked up. So what I've got here is some mash. All I did was peeled 2 kilos of potatoes, which was really fun, boiled them and then let them steam for a little bit. So what you do when you let them steam is you let the moisture come out, which in turn will let it be not so sloppy. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of butter, a little bit of cheese, and by a little bit, I mean an entire block, but do save some for the top. I'm going to go in with some Dijon mustard, some milk, just use whole milk or semi-skimmed, and we're just going to mash it. So I've just taste tested that and decided how much salt I need, and the answer is a few good pinches. Potato soaks up salt like you have no idea, so when you think you haven't put enough salt in. You probably haven't. And a good few grinds of black pepper. And that is good to go. So this is reduced down really nicely. It's been going for about 40 minutes. And that's the consistency you want. So it's not swimming in its own juices, but at the same time, it's not completely dry either. And the last step you want to do is take out the bay leaf. So I'm just going to spoon this into an oven dish now. You want it about halfway, so 50-50 with the mince and the mash. So that's the beef layer done. We're going to chuck on our cheesy mash. Just nice and rustic like that. Final bit of cheese. And that is ready to go in the oven at 200 degrees for around about 20 minutes until the top goes nice and golden. You guys, this smells absolutely delicious. So that has been in the oven for about 20 minutes at 200 degrees C. And then I just cranked on the grill just to get that nice color at the end, and it's nice and crispy as well. So yeah, that's my easy cheesy cottage pie. For more comfort food recipes, come over to my blog at don'tgobaconmyheart.co.uk, and there'll be much more stuff like this cottage pie. And if you do try this, then let me know how you get on. Cheers guys.